Beau DeMayo, the creator of X-Men 97, is absolutely going wild on X. So he got fired from X-Men, right? And he is calling out Marvel and Disney and Kevin Feige for all of the screw-ups that are happening with the MCU right now, and just airing out all of the dirty laundry. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase, and this is Cut to the Chase with me, Chase. And we got to talk about Beau DeMayo. He is absolutely calling out Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige and other leadership you may not recognize, but it is glorious to see. So he got fired from being on X-Men 97 about a year ago, maybe a little longer. He was the showrunner. And basically what happened was he loved the comics too much and he wanted to make the show great. That is a big red flag. We know this because we can look at headlines like this right here that say Marvel producers say it's a red flag when filmmakers are comic book fans. That seems wild to me, but apparently that's how they like to keep control. So he blasted out on X or Twitter, whichever you prefer to call it. And he didn't just tweet out a few things. He tweeted out a lot. So you guys are gonna have to deal with me a little bit because there is a lot to read here, but I promise it is so interesting. So before we get into that, if you haven't yet already, I would love to be able to earn your subscription. There is content like this all of the time. We're always talking about the culture war and wokeness leaking into entertainment and all of that good stuff. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't. So let's get right into the first one right here. To those asking why I'm not going so hard on Superman, the answer is I've never worked with Gunn or DC. Like Matt Shankman and the writers of Fantastic Four, I've sat in the creative meetings at Marvel Studios. They're horrible. You basically sit in a room with Kevin Feige and Beau DeMayo and try to pitch your movie while also realizing that Kevin just wants you to dictate his rushed thoughts. Victoria used to be in these. That's Victoria Alonso, who was also fired. But Kevin and Lou had so mistreated her that in one of my Blade meetings, she just showed up with sugar cookies she'd bake to help improve morale. That is so wild to me. You're even told not to try to pitch ideas from the comics because Lou isn't a big comic guy and it'll turn him off. What? How is that even possible? How is that even possible? I do not understand that one bit. Where did all of your source material come from? Where did all of this come? It came from comics. How can you not like the comics and make comic book movies? I don't understand that at all. Well, apparently you can't. Apparently you can't, actually, as evidence with the last slate of Marvel movies that are in TV shows that are coming out. So you sit and talk about craft and story and characters only to have Kevin and Lou say, well, yeah, all we need to do is make sure it's fun, etc. There's no spark. There's no vision. Marvel is a slaughterhouse factory where you watch fresh meat get spoiled as it slowly makes its way through the assembly gears of mediocre thinking and this weird hatred for their own product. Wow, that is scathing. This is why Robert Liefeld isn't just some bitter old man. He is the creator of Deadpool, by the way. Talking about the comic book writers is met with open contempt. It's wild. I had to fight to get the Lualds involved in X-Men 97. And even then, the dismissive news with which Dana Vasquez Everhart spoke about them, basically telling me the OG creators were meant to be seen, not heard, to appease fans. Can you believe what is being said right here? It's wild. I even remember wanting to talk to Chris Claremont and being shut down. Do they not realize that the only reason X-Men has its standing today, the way we know X-Men, is because of Chris Claremont? The only reason this right here was ever popular is because of Chris Claremont's storytelling, or wanting Joe Madureira to do posters, just as I was scolded for being too friendly with fans or coming off as too much of one. That's just wild. And the comments just lit up under this. I'm not going to go through all of them. at all. Do you think it's possible that maybe quietly Lou has gained more power or confidence with Disney than what Feige has, which is maybe why Feige is disregarding comic book lore? You said he liked your idea, but then the other stuff was shut down because Lou didn't like it. And Beau DeMayo responds, no, it's a company-wide problem, and it includes Kevin just as much as Lou. Trust me, I feel your disillusionment. I had high expectations for working with Kevin and was really let down. So I'm going to read another post that he made slamming Marvel. This one is actually what launched the diatribe. So I actually kind of jumped ahead, but this one actually is what led into what we were just reading. And he says, I say this with a lot of love because I love Marvel and its characters, but I'll give you a peek into how bad the state is there. In season 2 of X-Men 97, I adapted the adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix comic. In it, Scott and Jean used their childhood nicknames for each other, Slim and Red, to keep their identities hidden from Nathan. The current VP of Marvel Animation, Dana Vasquez Eberhar, who despised me, comes at me for how stupid the nicknames are and how she agreed with another director that they just couldn't take the nicknames seriously and that I need to turn my comic collector brain off. Wow. I'm sorry. That makes me so speechless because I don't understand how you can just hate the source material so much. He goes on, I explained that the aliases are Scott and Jean's or Jean and Scott's pet names for their teenage years, which resonates nicely with the fact that they're now raising Nathan. They're wistful and chose the names accordingly. The nicknames speak to that feeling all new parents have of losing their youth and past selves. In the end, Dana shut me out of the process. This was after Dana and I had to have a stupid fight over Ozymandias in season 2. She felt I was putting too much lore in and that we should just call him a random warlord. Maybe this is why Easter eggs are a thing. That some filmmakers are so forbidden, apparently, to use comic book material that they have to put in Easter eggs because these idiots that are up top will not notice them at all. And I love one of the questions under this that somebody asked, do they even read comics up top? And he says, no. They absolutely don't. They have their assistants read them and write up a loose paragraph summary. I'm not going to hate on top level executives not reading the comics. I can understand why you might not read the comics. You're busy, you got a lot going on, you don't have time to sit down and read comics. I get it. However, it is absolutely reprehensible and not okay to be virulently dismissive of the comics. Where do you think your bread and butter was made? Right there in the comics. So to be so against them is mind-boggling. You guys have to let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This is so crazy to read. And somebody had asked him why you're doing this. Like, is this going to punish your career? Is this, it's career suicide to do something like this? Which it probably is. Let's be real. And he says, I'm probably never going to work there again because they had their falling out and it was a very ugly separation. So more than likely, Beau DeMayo is probably blacklisted from ever working at Disney Plus or at Marvel Studios or what have you. So I don't think he has anything to worry about in terms of not getting a job there. This is obviously why he feels so comfortable to just let it all out there, air out the laundry, let everybody else read it. And I think this is so interesting because, you know, you always have these ideas of what's going on behind the scenes. And, you know, when people say, hey, they hate the fans or they hate the source material, it's sometimes met with kind of you're memeing or you're joking that they don't actually, it's just that the stuff's so bad that it seems like they do. And apparently it actually seems like they do. So that's just wild to me. Anyways, guys, again, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of what Beau DeMayo is saying here. Just the craziness that he's putting out there. Not that it is crazy, but it's wild that he is bringing this to light and showing everybody what's going on. And also smash that like button because it really helps the algorithm to push this video out there in front of more people. And if you enjoy content like this, you like talking about Marvel or culture war or wokeness or what have you, hit that subscribe button. You will not regret it. And hit that bell for notifications. That way you always get reminded when more content of mine drops. And we are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I know that we can do it. So it would be a real favor if you could hit that subscribe button and you will enjoy it. I guarantee it. And if you want more content like this now, click this video right here. You won't be disappointed. And as always, guys, peace out.